Hey, what's your boys? How no one's doing today, and hopefully things work out. Welcome to today's inaugural episode of what I call Void of Thoughts, where I'm going to try to do a weekly stream talking about things that interest me. And as you maybe can tell by the thumbnail, I want to talk about more VTuber drama. Ooh, spicy stuff, right? I hope you guys can hear me. I have had 0 days without a scuff stream, and I hope today doesn't count. It does help me, so let me just actually check my audio stuff to be sure. Where is it? Advanced. Oh, it's all good. Audio is working. There we go. But yeah, hey, your boy, how you guys doing? I'm doing well. Hopefully you guys are doing well. This fine Sunday evening. I think it's also Monday morning for some of you guys. Yeah. Pick me. Isn't this a fun situation we're going to talk about today? A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks since I did a stream. So cool. I got things to talk about. Great. I had to, things working. So I'm like, yeah, hey, I'm here today. So, this is, again, let's see how it goes. This is an experiment of mine. I want to try to do more streaming, and I think Sundays are a great time for me, and hopefully you guys as well. I have some notes on the side here, just like a professional streamer. Wow, so cool. All right. So first topic of the night, and well, the title topic, honestly, is going to be talking about Pick Me and surrounding things around that and the game. The game as in Hogwarts Legacy. None of you will know what I'm talking about here. So I'll switch over to this desktop screen here. Ooh, fancy. We're floating in space now. And this is a video that actually someone uploaded. It's a clip. I don't remember what it says. It says Vomskreator Gyari. I don't remember where this stream was from. Oh, this is the stream here. Yeah, so it's addressing Vom's Park. So it's an event that they had planned, and Pick Me is now graduating. So I guess this is addressing. Well, I watched it. I don't guess. I know this is addressing how things are going, and the thumbnail clearly says, "Oh, she's gonna graduate anyways," and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, that's so much I want to say about it." Okay, but she's graduating anyways, and this was already in plan, so there's very little impact of the bullying when she said, "Oh, I want to play this game," and there's some contradictory info. I'll speak about that in a moment here. And at least from the management side, as well as Pick Me herself, things seem to be kosher. They're on good terms. Great to hear. And I wonder if I'm such a great streamer. I forgot to prepare some image earlier, but I'll have to say I don't advocate spreading around members only content, because it's their content, put it behind a wall. But I was leaked a members only post from Pick Me as well, so we'll speak about that in a second. Oh where was I going? Pick me. It's bullying. Right. So people said, there's no bullying. But then there's also like few threads of people who are like, it's okay that we bullied because she did it. She was graduating anyways. Like, no, you don't justify bullying. It's bad. And so, yeah, it did begin to decide a long time ago is interesting as well. So there's a bit of a theory, and I hope I'll get the right screen. Just gonna switch over here just so I'd be sure about it. Good. I did have that correct link. Cool. So we'll switch back to the desktop view with the proper thing here. And so this is from a page called Permaband. They're an interesting individual. I don't remember what much about him, but that's not important here. So what's interesting is their theory. So people are saying that so this was posted yesterday. Oh, wow. So, hey, I'm still on topic. I'm not relevant. So TLDR, Hogwarts boycotters are trying to gaslight Pick-Me-Me's graduation, make it as if planned months in advance, had nothing to do with the harassment she got, despite the circumstantial facts that make it very improbable the harassment had no role in it. Don't let them gaslight and sweep on the rug. So that's in reference to a lot of people saying, oh, she's going to graduate anyways. She didn't can factor in this bullying. And the members only post kind of proves a bit more. So I'll speak about that again. I know I'm teasing so much about that. I don't have the image, unfortunately. I can't find it quickly. I don't want to waste your time. But here, the long story. So there's a copy bus going around, spread with Hogwarts, boycott kids. Wow, kids. Ooh. As an attempt to shift accountability heat for their actions harassing Pick-Me. Ooh. Which, again, there's such a controversial thing right now. I've been seeing people say that, like, now they're justifying bullying back towards these people who were against Pick-Me, which I wouldn't say fling things back. That's not what I would say you should do. But it is interesting that then some people are saying, well, for the most part, people just want to make people accountable, saying, hey, these people bullied her. Just make sure that these people are the ones that are supposedly part of your community. Abby, hi Abby, thanks for being here. Yeah, I appreciate your time. Thank you. I'm talking about some VTuber stuff, just internet drama, if you will. And so, yeah, it's just like acknowledge, hey, these people are part of this supposed community that you have. Just acknowledge that they've done wrong, and I agree with that. It's just funny that they misconstrue it, saying like, now if you're against this, you're all against all of us, and then some weird things of people saying like, if you support Pick-Me and all these other people, you are one, transphobic, two, anti-Semitic. What? I'm like, where did that come from? So no, back to this story here. So there's a very interesting theory from Permaband here. So why things are interesting is merch was finalized on February 10th. Great. Pick-Me wanted to stream Hogwarts Legacy on February 6th. Harassment took place shortly after the announcement, meaning that there's 4 days of internal discussion possible in VOMS. Reading official correspondence clearly indicates that VOMS merch was planned in advance, not Pick-Me's date confirmation of graduation. It is more likely that VOMS 10th merch announcement was revised to take into account Pick-Me's decision to graduate, a decision that she realistically made could have made between the 6th and 10th of February. So 3 to 4 days. 1 and 2, so these first two, require less assumption than they made about the boycott kids are trying to argue. Properly planned advanced graduation would be announced way earlier within a month of graduation, as a matter of decency and courtesy to VTuber fans. Interesting there. I don't know enough about the industry to say that. But so Pick-Me's graduation implies either that VOMS is an irresponsible agency that refused to inform its fans earlier, unlikely, or Pick-Me considered graduation but didn't confirm it. She later made this decision at the last minute as a direct response to harassment she got. Occam's razor. Oh, yeah, Occam's razor. I agree with that. Again, don't let harassers get away with gaslighting you. So, accountability, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I like this theory. I agree. Occam's razor, the easiest answer, is probably the best answer here. So let's just speak to what I have seen. So, like I said, a friend of mine had found an image of a leaked members post. Now I can't confirm it for sure, but essentially what it was is a post from Pick-Me, and it said something along the lines of, well, she posted an image of someone sending a relatively negative reply. I think it looks like it was a tweet towards Pikami, and she said, well, after all this time, it's getting tiring to see this. I'm like, ooh, unfortunate. That you now it is a consequence of being a public figure that you'll be consistently criticized for whatever you, even if you've done nothing wrong, right? You will be criticized because you're in the public eye. People will find a way to talk about you, and that's just how it is. And one of my friends actually put it quite well, and I don't mean offense to anyone, wanting to do and be an online content creator, but there is a certain kind of thick skin you have to develop to make it online. And if you keep letting negative things get to you, you're probably not made out for it. And it's unfortunate because I've seen things floating around about Pikami and saying that she enjoys streaming, and it's really sad if she had to leave for any particular reason, stop streaming for any reason. And there's also stories I'm hearing that apparently she was bullied when she was growing up, and she now wants to serve other people that were not from where she was from, so that she thinks they're better people or whatever. Assuming a lot that there's never bad people. I mean, I'm not saying that she is assuming everyone's in one particular region is good or bad, but it's unfortunate that if the whole story about being bullied is true in the past, and now this has happened, this harassment has happened, it might have reignited some really bad memories, and it's understandable that she wants to graduate due to that reason. So, sad, honestly, really, really sad. Now, on a comment, well, something actually we should bring up, and then I'll comment on as well. If we go over to this interesting tweet here, from also Permaband, wonderful guy. Hi, if you're watching, welcome. So they have changed tactics to try to bully Pipkin Pippa. She's an interesting character. I've not watched enough of her stuff, but she's got an attitude of like, don't care what you think, from what I've seen. She's made a lot of jokes that definitely wouldn't fly in most VTuber companies, I'll be honest. Like, she's made shooter jokes in Minecraft. She's yeah, right? Now, so from what I see, she, what people might pin her as more of an edgelord, blah blah blah, all that sort of thing, but she seems to have a good thick skin from what I've interpreted. And the problem then is people are now going against, well, because they're not getting the reaction that they want out of Pippa. They're like, let's go to people we know, she knows. And I've seen some of the tweets where people are like, I'm getting messages about my connection with Pippa. I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. Don't harass people. Obviously, I don't know how to keep saying that, but it's like, obviously, just be nice to people. Oh, wow, easy peasy. And I actually made a video yesterday, or was it yesterday or the day before? I'm trying to remember. Let me see if I can find it in my studio here, because I get the secrets. Pick me fans. Yeah, pick me fans. Scoring Scorched Earth. Now, what's interesting about this is because what I have understood, there's a lot of things going on in the enragement, I guess, about what it's Pick Me graduating. It's unfortunate again, but there's a civil way of acting and there's uncivil ways of acting. So from what I'm hearing, 4chan went like scorched earth and said, okay, all these meanies, they get the boot. And I'm like, oh boy. And enough that then they were doxing people. Ooh, that's not Gucci, man. That's not Gucci. And then I believe the 4chan mod said no. Then I've seen, I can't show any information at all on this. I can't, just for legal reasons. I cannot, because I don't want to dox people. Ugh, disgusting. So then they moved their operations to Kiwi Farms, And then there's a list of like trans apologists going around, including like a few like somewhat prominent like anime Twitter people. I can't remember the name of. And they even took there's even a nickname. Like even people took offense of being called Twitter people because they're weird. But I like Pipka because I think she's ignited a lot of this too. But yeah, Twitter people are weird. I mean, I'm a denizen of Twitter. I don't really think I have the bad mentality, but who knows? You know, I could be very wrong. Or the, you know, what's it called? The eternally online mindset. Oh, is it? I can't remember that word now. Terminally online. That's what I was looking for. So yeah. I forget where I was going with that. Two Twitter people, weirdos. Oh yeah, going after people. Yeah, not good. Well, now I forget that. Let's just dismiss because I forget. So, oh yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, harassing people, changing tactics, being weirdos. Yeah. So I also applaud even Silver Veil as much as I can. I don't like Shoujo, you know, like her design's kind of. So oh yeah, 4chan, right? And I've seen images of like certain like I think I can't remember the name of Ryuji or something like that. That's one of the other guys that's popular. Ryuji. What was it? VTuber memes. I don't remember the name. Band feature. That's not one of them. Ryuji something. They're another like person who talks a lot about this anime and VTuber stuff as well. I'm not prominent enough. I'm sad. Yeah. It's crazy that like I've seen someone's name and like stuff. I'm like, oh, that's not Gucci, man. And there's even an image going around of a QR code that features what's the name of the character from Spy Family, the little girl character. Oops, I dropped the thingamajigs, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's going around. Now I don't condone any of this kind of thing, but like I like observing what funny is going on, and like one of my friends said, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So like, yeah, no thanks, no touching that. I don't know if I have any much thoughts. I thought I had much more to say about it. Yeah, keep at it, Pick Me. Do your thing. Do your thing. Not Pick Me. No, I mean, do your thing. You know, all the best to you and your different. What I mean is Pipka. Keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. Whatever. You know, let the haters keep hating. Right? Keep making them give you more exposure. Congratulations. You know, like, delicious. But you don't want to comment like the thick skin thing, right? I don't want to give this person more attention than I need to, but I'm gonna just try to skirt around naming them, because if you guys know about gaming journalism in the past decade, there was a certain event that caused certain people to rise to prominence, and those people tried to talk about harassment in the video game industry or sexism in the industry because there's not enough good women representation, all that sort of thing, right? So I don't want to give them power. That's why they're like my Voldemort, I guess. Yeah, right. I can say that. Just like when people say the Wizard game. So giving them. So, anyways. What's funny is that they were like, "Oh, I'm a public figure. I get harassed so much." But you're not special. You only get more harassment because you're a public figure. And then they got an audience with the UN. It shows how much the UN actually matters. I don't really like the UN personally. What do they do for me? I pay my taxes and it goes to them. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Canada. Thanks, feds. Thank you. But yeah, I think having a bit of a thicker skin and knowing when to take the right kind of criticism is really important. And I think a problem, actually, if you think about it, with being a public figure, like let's say you join a company like, VOMs, like Hololive, like Niji Sanji, like V Shoujo even, right? These things already have publicity power, right? And when you join them, you get a surge of people that might like you, might dislike you, will criticize you, criticize you. Yeah, and if you grow too fast and you don't know how to handle criticism, that may be a big hole in your personal development as a person. So that's why, in a way, I'm kind of glad that, at least for what I feel, I have thick skin, and my slow growth has helped me kind of temper where I can take criticism and make fun of people for trying to hate on me for just saying things. I'm sure I'll eventually say things that will get me some hot water. But it's because I think just what I say is what I want, in my opinion. Sometimes it could be just objective truth, and people sometimes don't like the truth. Wow, imagine that. So moving on. Let's hate on some whatchamacallit, anime corpos again, because I love doing it. So we'll move over to this screen here. I'm sorry that I don't have a dark mode for this. Can I change it to dark mode for this? Oh, can I? Oh, I can't change it. Oh, options. Dark mode. Give me dark mode. Why don't you have dark mode? Fine. Okay, I'll just switch over to it. Okay. Sorry for your eyes. I'm sorry. I don't know, fix this. So, move you here. There you go. There we go. I'm a professional streamer. So we'll look at this article here from Anime News Network. I'm iffy on them as a news source, but Crunchyroll lays off approximately 85 employees globally. Whew. Whew. That's not a lot, but that's a number though. Like that's sad that people are losing their jobs. So we'll read through this a bit here. Anime streaming service Crunchyroll laid off about 85 employees last week. It's still no, that was like a couple weeks ago. So a couple weeks ago. Last week, according to one employee who acknowledges recent terminations, United States, Moldova, France, Germany, Australia, and mainly affects the marketing engineering sectors. Ooh. That's interesting. Engineering sectors. Such no layoffs affect full-time employees or include contractors. So layoffs in email. So it's part of their integration with Funimation. Whoo! I don't know if that merger was a good idea, huh, boys? Yeah, because if any of you have not known, Sony bought Crunchyroll a while back, and Sony owns Funimation already. And it's just weird that like relatively soon after, like Crunchyroll was like, we have 3 tiers of services now. It's like, oh, okay. So what I find interesting is the engineering sectors part here. Engineering sectors part here. Oh, I should have zoomed in earlier. Engineering sectors. The funny thing is, I had in another stream complained saying, wow, why is the video player for Crunchyroll so bad when like that is what I think the main attraction of Crunchyroll? And now they're like, no engineers. I even like in the like a Facebook comment thread of talking about this, I was like, they're gonna fix their video player, right? And the guy was like, no. I'm like, we're on the same page. Like a bunch of people on the comments were like, so like, are you gonna use this money to fix your services on the app, on like the consoles, on phones? Because I actually never tried them, but according to what people have told me, it's pretty bad. It's worse than a lot of other streaming services, which is like, again, why I'm gonna say, what are Crunchyroll subscribers paying for? If not for a better service. The marketing kind of makes sense. Even I don't think they need much marketing anymore. Like, to be honest, they are one of the biggest anime distributors here in the West. So like, what do they need that for, right? So it's weird that they say engineering sectors. Oh, I did not mean to click that. Oh yeah, like, damn. And this might be, and this is, I have a like a big brain like conspiracy theory that like the whole world is running on debt, which is not completely untrue, um, because every country has debt to international banks. It's a whole rabbit hole I have not been looking at yet, but I know that to be true. And I wouldn't be surprised if Crunchyroll is and Funimation are floating on some little bit of cash. They're trying to slowly survive, and that's why they have that 3-tier system, and they're trying to let people go. So maybe we could foresee that Crunchyroll and Funimation might actually have to close down and have to just become like one company. I'm wondering, maybe Crunchyroll might just be like pop, and Funimation's the only one that survives, because technically Funimation is the older of two companies. Crunchyroll's had their start in piracy of all things, and oh, speaking of that, I actually want to talk about something very interesting to me about was it? What was I looking? Oh, it's Crunchyroll. Not paying people enough, because they, from what I understand from another YouTube video, don't pay people well for translations because it's like per episode, and maybe some episodes might like have a lot more dialogue than needed. Some have way less, so they do less work. And now I want to talk about this topic here. It's out of order from what I originally intended, but we go to this article here from Kotaku, and it says translator steps down from Shonen Jump manga after declaring it untranslatable. Updated. Oh, it's updated. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well, let's see what happens there. So, it's Cypher Academy's Lipogram puzzle stumped both its characters and Viz Media's translator. Because at first when I saw this art, I'm like, this is me being a negative Nancy saying, like, I don't like big corpo, and I don't like localizers. I have respect to translators for sure. Localizers, not so much. So at first I was like, oh, wow, what a lazy like it is my internal, like, wow, what a lazy translator. They don't want to translate it. But Cypher Academy, that gives a hint of what's going on here. A lipogram, I'm not entirely sure about, but if we scroll down here, odd joke pun in their favorite series, there we go. One Viz Media translator is resigning from their project after revealing a Shonen Jump series' latest chapter was basically impossible to translate. What does that mean? The Lost in Translation manga series in question is Cypher Academy, a mystery series written by Monogatari author Nisio Ishin and illustrated by Yuji Iwasaki, if I'm pronouncing that right. The series follows Iroha Zaka? Wow. A teenager attending the prestigious Titular High School, name suggests, battles involved with tricky puzzles. In Chapter 10, that name, Viz Media translator Kumar, not going to try to pronounce that, had the an enviable task of translating a lipogram-based cipher battle between Iroha Zaka and supporting character Tayu Yugata. A lipogram is a type of word association game which participants must avoid using a certain combination of syllables and letters. Their battle had them ask each other famous manga series like Demon Slayer, Slam Dunk, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z without using a bunch of forbidden consonants and vowel combinations. Oh, that reminds me of the game. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a language game for Japanese where like you're not allowed to, you're supposed to say a word or phrase, and you're supposed to take the last consonant sound or whatever and then make a new phrase or a word. But there's also like, you can't use a particular thing. So this is awful. But yeah, basically, at the end of this, I do feel sorry for the translator. I get the feeling they're not being paid enough and basically like, screw this. I'm out. I don't want to translate this. This is too difficult. And understandable. Really, really awful. So yeah, well, pay people better. Viz Media. If I recall though, Viz Media is owned by Sony though. Sony. Viz Media. Let's see if I'm right. Sony. Oh. No. Huh. I swear Viz Media was owned by... Oh. Oh, they are in cahoots, though. Sony owned Funimation announced a deal today with Viz Media to add a large component of its anime series. Oh, they have a partnership. Oh, did I say something about incestuous nature? Well, I mean, it makes sense, though. The collaborating, honestly, of the anime industry. So, okay, that actually makes sense. Huh. All right, cool. Here's a fun topic, actually, that I actually want to talk about. That always gets me nice and riled up here. You guys have heard of maybe a book series called No Game No Life? Wonderful animation, also called No Game No Life. Also a movie that was a prequel. But also I think the author was found to be doing something illegal. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like tax evasion or something. No, I can't remember. It's like money laundering, something with money. I don't remember what it was. Anyways, he's still writing. He also got caught tracing. Oh, that's a wild story there too. Tracing. I mean, a quick word about tracing though. Tracing, inherently not bad. Just, don't pretend that you made it. Ooh. Whoa, ho, 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 ho. Not wholly, at least. Anyway, so, No Game No Life from Anime Senpai. No Game No Life writer discloses receiving criticism for not featuring dark-skinned characters in his work. Japanese man writing Japanese novel doesn't have other skinned people in his work. Problem? I don't think so. I don't think it's that much of a problem. I have not read much about Anime Senpai. Their site pretty clean. Something about it bothers me still with the design, but whatever. The call for diversity in media has been an ongoing conversation for years. Oh boy, it has been. And with fans advocates alike using their voice encourage greater representation. One of the areas was particularly active in the world of manga and anime. Oh, I laugh at this so much. Because mostly this kind of like talk about having diversity in media is like a Western concept here in the Canada and US. Mostly the US. Unfortunately, that's an export up here too. So, yeah. Oh, that speaks to me so much. Like my last stream, I talked about we need more diversity in anime and manga. It's like make your own, but also this is Japanese creators making things for Japanese people. Imagine that. Woohoo! Woohoo! As fans of these popular Japanese art forms, people are urging manga artists to include more black characters in their artwork. Japanese art forms urging manga artists to include more black characters. Excuse me. It's their writing. They do what they want. If you want your own little, diverse thing, make your own then. Fuck. Like, goddamn. Oh, that's my first swear of the night, huh? While many people approach conversations with sensitivity, thoughtfulness, others can be harsh, including and demanding. Oh, Yu Kamiya, the author of the popular light novel series, No Game No Life. I wonder what that actually is, the title is. Oh, it's about to end. Huh, didn't know about that. Okay. People took recently to Twitter to address a critique from a foreign reader regarding the absence of dark-skinned characters in his work. The reader pointed out that people with dark skin did exist in medieval and early modern Europe, and questioned why there's a representation No Game No Life. Oh, bro, why was this book made for Japanese people, featuring mainly Japanese kind of style characters? Which, I have a fun thing to talk about too with like, what race are anime characters? Oh yeah, good topic for that too. Actually, I'm gonna hopefully remember that. So, this is a translated tweet, so like, grain of salt. I received a DM from a foreign reader scolding me, saying that there were people with dark skin in medieval and early modern Europe. Why is it not in your work? First of all, this board is not in Europe. It's got inspiration from Europe. But yeah, his book, his work, his setting, whatever he wants. First of all, Were there furry ears or elves in medieval Europe? Also, there are usually brown-skinned characters. So I don't know about that last part, but I do like this comment. Like, yeah, like this is a fantasy setting. Like, what were there people with like animal ears and elves in medieval Europe? No, no. Great argument. But yeah, it's kind of funny. People want more representations. Like, well, again, make your own thing. Then, like, I know people want to colonize like already established works, because it's already successful. It's got a name to it. It's got a brand to it, and so like they do that so like they can get that like quick cash fast. Like, well, if you really cared about diversity, you'd actually just make a good product that had a diverse cast at all. Like, imagine making a good product first, right? But you know, a lot of people like the message. Oh wait, people actually care about story? What? What? No way! People care about story? No way! Yeah, so it's really funny because actually this reminds me of a funny story. Which oh man, when was that? When Pokemon. I'm gonna look it up. Pokemon Nessa. You know where I'm going with this. What game? What game was it? Tell me what game was it? No, give me the game. Sword and Shield. When Sword and Shield came out, she's a dark skin character, absolutely, for sure. And what I found funny was then like when people like drew her and she was just slightly lighter skin than people liked. They're like, "Oh my god, you're whitewashing the character," and it was so funny because then Japanese artists saw these people whining. And one, I want to find it again. There's an image where they had like a gradient of Nessas going across. And first it was like a really light skin one, and it got darker, and then it just went like black. And all you could see was just her eyes and mouth. And it was like, is this dark enough for you guys? And then we got Japanese artists who drew like monkeys in Nessa's clothing. Like, is this what you want, guys? Oh man, stay based, Japanese artists. Stay based. Don't let these people colonize your artwork. Okay, I love that so much. Yeah, like gosh, I love Japanese artists for that. I hope they don't stand down. Like, that was a different topic, yeah. But like, no game to life author, keep doing what you're doing. Artists who draw fan art of characters and get harped on for their own fan interpretation, get out of here. There are wrong ways of darkening skin characters. I've seen some, and I think they're trolls. I really want to think they're trolls. I don't remember the name of this particular artist. I don't want to give him attention. But yeah, I've seen some really awful artwork, fan art of My Hero characters being fixed. I think you can find that yourselves if you are curious. It's really awful. I can't do it. So another funny thing. I have talked about anime conventions before and them being weird, because I talked about my local convention where they invited a guest that talked about topics that I feel like don't belong in an anime convention, because it felt like it had nothing to do with Japanese media or even the culture. So we'll look at this wonderful article here from CBR. Anime convention bans non-manga character cosplays. Voice, I don't know how that's from. Convention Neo Anime Oasis implements strict dress code banning non-manga anime character cosplays and receives heavy backlash from fans. Good. This was a couple weeks ago, actually a month ago at this point. They have revoked it. This change. But how do you enforce this? Do you just have people like master experts of every manga, every anime, every light novel, and say like, you're not allowed to dress this way? And keep watching you. I'm gonna watch you sleep tonight. Hi, Karma. It's a bit creepy. But how do you even like figure this out? Because fans cosplaying is self-expression. Why aren't you allowing that, right? I'm harped, and last time I harped on conventions saying like, hey, don't do things unrelated to the thing, right? Now, on this other side, obviously this is the fans might not be doing things that are aligned with the culture and media stuff that they want to cover. But again, these are the guests. These are the people who pay for things. They should be allowed to cosplay whatever they want. Again, it's self-expression, right? And what I find funny is that there's some loopholes around this. Like, had they not revoked this, right? So they're saying you cannot cosplay non-manga, non-anime, non-Japanese media characters. Okay, great. Let me cosplay Batman. What do you mean cosplay Batman? He's an American comic book character from DC Comics. Well, I actually know that some of the more recent DC films are made by Warner Brothers Japan. Oh, is that a Japanese studio? Does any of that DC media count as anime now? Oh, look. Let me cosplay Catwoman. Let me cosplay Superman. Because there's a certain kind of style that they have that I'm like, yeah, that's definitely like Japanese style animation. And I noticed that. Like, yeah, Warner Bros. Japan. They're doing good work for DC, which I've been meaning to watch more of their films. But it's really funny that then like they did this. So yeah, they obviously received backlash. This is the tweet I guess they put out. I didn't actually read too much about it, but yeah, like it's really funny. Like, this is supposed to be the expression of the guest like coming in. You're paying for it, so like you should be allowed to wear what you want. What if someone wants to cosplay a character who was in a game first, but the game came out later on? Wait, what? What if the character was... Yeah, no, see, that's the thing, right? Like, technically, that could be a loophole. But then again, remember that Nier Automata is a franchise, well, a game in a franchise that's Japanese. So I think that would already be allowed in the first place. But like, for example, let's say for promotional services, like let's say that there's a Western media franchise and they want to then promote themselves in Japan. They decide, okay, well, let's make like a promotional one-shot manga of this character. Surprise. Now I'm able to cosplay the character, right? Like, oh, whoopsies. So yeah, this was a stupid thing in the first place. Absolutely stupid in the first place. So yeah, it's just really funny to me that we're on the fan side of things now, talking about anime conventions and people go to them. So don't forget Dojin. Oh, they do exist. Oh boy, they do. I've seen a very nice Supergirl one, so that is Japanese media. People can cosplay Supergirl. That's right. I forget. Yeah, thanks, Karma. That's a perfect example. Perfect example. So yeah, it's just funny stuff. Thinking about that, I'm gonna close these things so I don't need any more. Last thing I want to talk about. Ooh, this is actually something I've been meaning to talk about for a while. But I guess I'll tease a bit. I'll tease about my opinions on things and what's going on with that. But this will be my last topic for that. I thought I had much more to say, but it's okay. I'll try to do better research for next week. Okay, this is episode 1. Things are rough. Don't worry about it. So last topic I want to talk about today is on Kotaku again. So AI comic art gets copyright revoked after office learns how AI works. The U.S. Copyright Office ruled that procedurally generated images are not granted copyright protection. Oh, that's actually huge. I didn't read that. Frick. That's huge. Oh, wow. That's a win, in my opinion. Okay? Because on the whole debate of, like, AI, and I won't say art, I'll explain a little bit later, and AI-generated images versus actual artists, I'm on the side of artists. And procedurally generated images, the main thing why, and I did read part of this here, The U.S. turned away AI-generated pieces of work last February, citing the prerequisite of human authorship. I am pro-human on this thing. And speaking of pro-human, all that sort of thing too, there was a interesting court case that happened quite a while ago, and it involved the copyright of a photo. So there's a wildlife photographer. He was in some sanctuary for these monkeys, and the monkey was playing around with the camera, and it accidentally took a photo, a selfie, while it was playing with it. PETA, PETA, the like PETA, the animal rights group, I use that very loosely, then tried to sue the photographer for making money off of it, and said, hey, you owe the monkey money that you made off that photo. And they wanted to handle the court case. They wanted to take that money and use it for their purposes. It's like, hold on a second, what? You're just making that to make more money. And the end of it, basically, is that art has to have human intervention. And I agree with the Copyright Office in that. A Nova fan. So people will just claim they made it themselves. We see this essay being made about AI being detected by AI, detects AI essays chat. Oh yeah, cat and mouse game. Absolutely. Yeah. That's actually a fun thing to think about. And I think more importantly, someone pointed out that digital forensics is going to be a very important job in the future, because people need to find out if something's made by AI or not. And because there's going to be an information war, basically, right? Because how can we verify information if an AI is just giving it to you, right? I know obviously there's a mistrust already with humans, so how can we trust a machine which is, just using what humans have already made? It's already flawed in the first place. No AI will be flawless in my opinion. And yeah, like that's my hot take, I guess, is that like I like the idea of AI generated images. I will never actually like to call it AI art. It is not art, because art has to involve human intervention. Like I say here, I'm totally for that. And there's a whole thing I actually want to talk about. So I'll leave this for my actual video. But we'll read through this here. Before that, I'm going to read Karma. Is PETA going to make that person pay monkey with bananas? No, so PETA actually wanted the royalties that photographer got from that photo. But again, at the end of it, they said that it was not art. Cannot be copyrighted by the monkey, and cannot receive royalties from that sort of thing. In extension, right? Because that monkey is an animal, right? Because that's how we kind of, as a non-human entity, right? In the similar sense, the AI that created these images is also a non-human entity. So I'm in agreement with the U.S. Patent Office, not Copyright Office. So we'll read through here. No, they did not own the monkey. See, that's the weird thing, is that they sued the photographer on behalf of the monkey and wanted to take that money for their purposes, which is a weird thing. One creator tried to register the comic book with images to create an AI tool, Midjourney. Oh wow, Midjourney. Yesterday, the creator received an official decision regarding copyright. The comic will receive protections for the text and arrangement. That's good. Which were both produced by a human. However, the images that were generated by AI software cannot be copyrighted. Agreed. The creator, Chris Tashtanova, is trying to frame it as a win for the AI community. That's not a win at all. Tweeted that had his copyright affirmed, even though it's not what happened. Yeah, don't. Oh, that's scummy. That is scummy. Yeah. Oh, another thing actually I want to say. AI generated images, great tool. Great tool. I've actually used it to create reference images for a project I'm working on, and it's great. It's gotten the results that we wanted, and we've sent it to as reference for artwork that we need for. So it's a great tool. I question though, like this is where I'm like kind of iffy too, because I've seen real artists like take those images and then like tweak them. So technically that can be considered art because it's transformative as well, and now has a human element. So that, I'm iffy on that because I've with really basic generations of AI images, I can tell. Like I've been on Facebook enough with these other Facebook groups I'm in, and I'm like, that's it, right? I look at them like, something's off about it. I know. And then even an extra step for myself because most of these AI generated images, when you're doing anime characters, you zoom in on the eyes, they are not detailed at all. They're just blobs, right? It's good at a distance, but if you look closely to the eyes, actually, let me pull an example. I have installed local copy of Stable Diffusion, and I'll pull up an image for you guys. So let me switch over to that here while I find it. Stable Diffusion. There we go. And this one, and I will go to. I'll just be very careful what's safe for work. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna zoom out here of the image. Boom. Okay. So, right. We'll switch back here. So this is an image that I generated with Stable Diffusion. And actually, let me remove chat for a moment here. I'm sorry, guys. You gotta go. Bam. There you go. So, if you look at this image, so this is I created a kind of a few prompts here and there to try to create a character that looks very close to my mascot, right? And from a distance, oh, look great! Look, she's wearing Japanese clothing. She's got the foxtail right there, the orange hair, the purple eyes that my character has. And from a distance, looks great. Everything otherwise, but now if you zoom in on the eyes, bam, blobs, right? Easy find. That's like how I have been able to tell if an image is made by AI. But there's something unnatural about the way it's shaded too. No, I'm not gonna give Among Us eyes. Stop it. But yeah, that's my tells. Let me see if I can find other images as well that I can use an example. Something about the shading. I can't put my finger on it. But like depending even on like the model they use, like there's a dreaminess to it. And I get that because like, you know, people talk about the other ones and it's dreaminess. That's the best way I can really quantify it. I use AI art for prawn, and I making art for characters that I want more of, but I don't want to pay for a commission. Now, that's kind of the issue, right? Now, I understand people's financial situations are different, right? I can't judge you on that. But that's where a lot of artists take issue. And I kind of relate to that, in that if these AI systems are big enough, they will have less room for actual artists to get payment and work. And I feel sorry for that. And really, it's not about, you know, independent artists and like people like me. I love getting artwork of my mascot. It's not about that as a problem. It's about big companies being able to use the systems and not needing to hire people. Because I know how business is. It is cold. They don't care. Hey, we can save money. We can save $2 on an art commission or whatever so that we can make more things. Great. Let's not hire an artist. Let's just use this AI system, right? So that's where I take attention about like that. Now, if you don't have money, I understand. It's fine. I get it. Financials are different for everyone. And underserved artwork of certain characters, I absolutely agree. There are certain characters that don't have enough artwork. And so, yeah, I can kind of see that. But again, I would rather, if you can save up some money, and if you like an artist and they're open for commissions, like, get them to make it, right? That's my preferable. But again, you do what with your money you want. People are already selling courses on how to make media with AI and sell it. It's gonna be really weird when people find out they don't have copyright. Yes, right? There's no copyright at all. Like I said earlier, right? The machine has made it. Now, it's a bit more understandable if then the person takes that and tweaks it, but that's still iffy, right? If you then take it as inspiration, like reference material, like I said earlier, great. But actually saying that you made it, I can't do it. Like, I have a folder full of images of my mascot. Actually, let me just show you. Bam. Right? Like, this is a folder full of images that I've created that are about my mascot, or like that have a character that looks like my mascot. Like, it looks pretty cute. Great for reference, because there's certain ones, like I have idol outfit, I got a Japanese clothing, I got a Lolita outfit, a maid outfit, normal outfit, race queen, school outfit, right? Great for reference in the future, because I am a simp for my own character. I just love getting artwork for my character, right? Diffusion model doesn't do fine details well, which is why eyes, hair, hands, etc. don't think they look weird. It's gonna be really weird when those companies find out that they can't copyright designs. Yeah. That it's gonna be hilarious. I want to see how that goes. There's gonna be more illustrations. This is a great win in my opinion, though. Okay. Hi, other guts. Or learn to make art yourself without using AI tools. Also, hearing AI making written stories worries me. Absolutely, I'm worried too. Right. I am actually in the middle of writing something myself. Race queen. I'm writing a book myself, right, with a friend of mine, and just similar to actually what I was talking about earlier, with using AI generated images as reference, as a way to understand things more. I've actually similarly used ChatGPT to help me describe things or find words. It's better than trying to use a Google search to find synonyms or other ways of describing things. As a writer, I'm not worried about all that AI, and none of the writers I know are worried about it either. Interesting. Now, when you say writer, what kind of writing? I'm curious, because I can definitely see like companies that, like journalist companies, right, taking advantage of these systems to not need to hire any more writers and that sort of thing, right? Because they have a very not strict, but very particular kind of format that they write these articles in that would be very easy for an AI to replicate. Creative writing or critical writing, all the other kind of stuff, is a bit harder for nuance in a machine, which is great. So I'm curious about that. It is bound to be scripted, and it will have some terrible algorithm on them. Journalists being screwed. Thank you, great. Though there's the other thing about video content creation, so I'll speak on about that in a moment too. It is bound to be scripted, and we'll have the same terrible algorithm. So, terrible algorithm in AI. So this is actually a great thing that you brought up, because I remember you guys heard of a site called Character AI or Character.ai. It was a website, well, it's still a website, where people could create characters that have just a chat bot of that character. People wanted to do a lot of more lewd adult things with them, and slowly they kept patching it to try to get it to do very close to those things. Now, the product isn't the actual chatbot itself. It's one of the theories. I agree. The actual product that the company's trying to make is a good sensor, right? That is valuable for a lot of people, a lot of companies, a lot of countries even, right? So the real product is people feeding into it, trying to break it. And that's unfortunate. I would love to see if there's a way to get an open source or free version of that kind of AI. I would love that, right? Anytime I see something, I'm like, well, is there an alternative to that? Like, I hope, because I don't want to support big companies. This is because they'll end up lobotomizing it, right? Just like if you guys know about Microsoft recently, they announced their whole integration with ChatGPT in their systems. and they had to say like, oh, we're going to be very ethical and make sure that we won't be bad to people. It's like, well, facts are facts, man. You can't change them. Journalists are probably a company already makes articles by AI. Journalists already lowered their standard for AI to pass. Yes, right. They're so bad at writing that like, why do I care anymore? Like they've really pushed themselves out of the system. So the actually good writers of like these sites, right, will learn how to adapt and work with them. I would say not many of them are that technically inclined, so good. We use AI to make journalistic articles. We have less biased journalism, but that's just me. It's possible that it can be less biased, but again, like Nova said, not Nova, Guts said, there will be restrictions on it, and I hope that there will be some kind of unrestricted version created by a community. I hope so, because I know that was kind of the point of what OpenAI and ChatGPT was supposed to be, but now with influence from Microsoft, well, that's not going to do that anymore. Like, technically, I think Tay AI, right? All roads will lead back to Tay AI. Facts are facts. People are bad. That's all that is, right? It's funny when people try to hide the fact that people are like, the AI is being, an istanophobe. It's like, no, it's just spitting facts. It's using what it's in its library. My domain is fiction and very niche articles. And even if I try to use ChatGPT to write an article for one of my blogs, my subject matter is too niche for it to make useful. I'm happy for you, Anubis. I'm happy for you there. Hey, Adam. Hey, it's been a while. Good to see you. Sadly, those journalists will be anal about losing their jobs. Actually, what's sad about that? I welcome a future with those people are gone for good. Yeah, if only they wrote good stuff, huh? Right? I understand why we've gotten here too, though. Because if you, the reason why is that they have understood the intersectionality of things. We're like, oh, people talk about these issues, but they also like these issues. Let's combine these issues together and clickbait people to read. And honestly, it works, right? And that's why it's gone down the drain in quality anytime we see anything. Skill issue, definitely. Real problem here is whenever what journalists infect next. Yeah, it's true. I just learned about it on Friday because I was talking about teachers college saying how everyone is using instead of actual assignments. Yeah. AI has to be open source or else assume it's biased. Yeah. So yes, there were actually students that were using it to pass the bar exam, I believe, and it worked. Now this was an experiment to do it, and it passed. It's like, no, don't do that. That just makes people more lazy, right? That's part of what I'm afraid of with AI is that it might actually make people lazy, which is actually fine. The people who are lazy and don't want to do work, then fine, get out of here. I respect more people with the hustle. AI being open, and I really hope soon that there's someone who could make a. I mean, I could put them on my hands too. I actually have a bit of programming knowledge. I could try to expand that more and maybe say making a character AI version of that, right? But yeah, it's unfortunate that there's no equivalent right now for that. There was that voice replicator that people, gone on about and made some cursed material out of. I'll say that. And there is an open source alternative to that one. I can't remember. 11 Labs, that's what it's called. And someone made an alternative called Tortoise. The reason why it's because it's kind of slow. But it's actually a solution that I want to support. I want to see it grow as well. I want to try learning and experimenting with it. Apparently it's decent. So I'll look into that as well. If you're going to write something regarding those things, at least make them good. Otherwise, writing intersectionality would sound unhinged. It is always unhinged because they actually use it as padding. Because remember, some sites actually pay people by the word or by the paragraph, right? So instead of objectively writing about something, they'll like try to insert something in there so that their article is longer. I remember a while back when the Xbox Series S came out, there was, I don't remember which game journalist site. There was a games journalist site that had someone write a review for the console, right? And so you think, okay, that's pretty objective, right? Like, does the console loud? Does it run games smoothly? Is the UI usable? That's pretty objective, I think, right? Well, usable UI is subjective, but generally, is the game console accessible, usable? How does it perform, right? Anubis, great, I don't have about that. And then, for some reason, at the end of it, like, oh, but I don't like it because it has too many holes. It triggers my trichtophobia. It's like, okay, but this isn't about you, madam. This is about, is the console good? She's like, yeah, the holes make me feel that. It's like, well, buy a PS5 then. But it's kind of important to have those holes to, like, I don't know, cool the thing. So yeah, it was really weird that she had to inject them. It's like, well, your review is supposed to be about, is the console good? Horrible objectively, but par for the course modern. Absolutely, right? And I can't say I'm a good writer or anything like that, but I can tell a bad article from a good one. Which I've been considering doing my own independent writing as well. I don't know where I would publish it though. We can see about that much later. But yeah, it's really funny when people try to pull other things in. That's why I respect a lot of, well, certain reviewers. Like, I don't respect, it's like I know I'm just using it now, but Kotaku, IGN, I'm trying to remember another one right now. Any of those game sites, they aren't really about video games anymore, right? They try to pull in intersectionality when it's unnecessary. It's like, is the game good, right? But I'm sure there'll be a lot more I know there are a lot more games like, wow, this game is good, but it doesn't have enough black people. It's like, but that means the game is okay. Like, that you just added that problem for having a problem. Like, good job. Like, think about this then, right? Oh, that reminds me, actually, what was it? Have you guys seen that one review? Let me find it. Let me see. Let's see. Let me find the name. Oh, it was GameSpot. Yeah. Do you guys remember GameSpot and their review of Miles Morales Spider-Man? My favorite line was, he jumps off of the building with the swagger of a black teenager. Like, what? He's just being Miles Morales. Dude, excuse me? I was like, no, I can't. Oh my god. Like, these guys act as if they're not, like, racist, but, like, he said the quiet part out loud. It was so good. Let me link it for you. I'll just link it for you guys. It's hilarious. It's so bad. Yeah. Games journalism nowadays keeps on trying to insert their politics and opinions into articles. Yep. Nowadays, if you want to review of a game, you can trust streamers and video game channels more than that. Yes, absolutely. Right, absolutely. And let me complain about YouTube for a moment. I'm sure all of you guys know this feeling. Whenever you look up, like, a relevant news story of the day, right? We know YouTube has a bias towards legacy media, so, like, all the old TV channels, and all that sort of journalist sites, right? Because when you look up a relevant, like, recent thing that happened, it's at the very top of your search. It's always this news site, this news site, this news site. No, I want the independent take on this. But here you are, giving me all CBC, CNN, NBC. I'm like, well, I don't care about their opinion. Yeah. No, they're trying to become the new cable, right? It's funny because they were built on not that. It's really hard to just find good content about people talking about a topic when you have to scroll down like pages to get to something independent. It's like, I want independent on that, right? And it's ironic because, like, they were built on the backs of people who were independent, and now, like, we want to serve the big channels. And also, I mean, they even, like, bow down to their demands, right? Because even on the front page, if you are not logged in, you are getting pushed legacy media TV channels. Exactly. If I want a cable TV, I watch TV. And that reminds me of another problem that we have, right? And I'm sure you guys know it, where streaming sites used to be really rare and they would have almost everything you'd want. Suddenly everyone's have a streaming site. And streaming services have become cable TV again. They've just become cable TV again. Because it costs like what? Sometimes $7, $10 per streaming service. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't have all the channels you want. And then you have to buy multiple services. Bam, it costs as much as cable TV. Hello, piracy, my old friend. Right? Like, I'm not going to advocate for piracy. I've used it. And if things keep getting so difficult to watch, like Gabe Newell says, piracy is an access issue. People can pirate more. I will see a resurgence of piracy. Like, absolutely, in the next few years. Especially with Netflix and their scummy like changes with their password sharing. They went back on that. That's hilarious. If Section 239 goes away, all the good stuff will be gone from YouTube. We might as well migrate at that point, which might be happening to real journalists. Section 239. I'm not familiar. Oh, 230. Oh, right. That's the one where I believe websites are protected from the law because they're not responsible for what their creators make because they're not a publisher. Which is funny because they take, in certain sites take responsibility as if they are a publisher. So like, are you a publisher or not? Section 230 is there or not? Which is why I do appreciate what's that site called again? Odyssey, because Odyssey, as long as what you post is not illegal, you can post it all you want. It's great. I should probably use that more. But it's a good mirror for my content as well. Actually, let me link it because I can log. Oh god, I haven't logged in a while, haven't I? Oh boy. Maybe I'll log in later. You can find my legacy Odyssey link in the description below. And they can blame only themselves the moment that Jolly Rogers starts to host to 7 Seas. Yup. The problem with Section 230 is not enforced. It's definitely not enforced properly. We've seen enough of that, right? Will you use Rumble? You can stream on there as well. Odyssey is excellent. Rumble. I'm not familiar with Rumble. Oh, right. Rumble. Okay. I may consider a Rumble. But and this is a chicken and egg problem, right? And I am contributing to it by doing what I'm doing now. Is that there's much more an audience here on YouTube and even Twitch than those other sites. So if I can get enough of a following here, I might try to migrate over to one of those sites. But right now, a lot of my audience is on YouTube, and I know that. So I'm kind of stuck on here because of that. And plus, it is much more of a niche thing, really, to try to use those two sites. Like, I'm not saying they're bad, right? It's just that because we are in the minority of people who know about these alternatives because we don't like the things that these sites are doing. Most people, and I will say normies, right, don't know about this. They're the same people who continue to subscribe to Funimation Crunchyroll despite their transgressions. The people who still buy books from 7 Seas Entertainment despite their transgressions, right? They're still being funded by the non-hardcore consumers. That's a real problem there with these streaming sites. There could be an alternative. Like, I wish, because I feel they have the power. I wish the people who own Pornhub would start their own streaming, like other streaming site that's non-adult. They can do it. They can compete. I swear. They have so much bandwidth already to serve the people they serve, right? I think they can handle something like YouTube. I think they can. Honestly, excellent. YouTube really needs a better moderation and stop using AI for their moderation. You can stream off-site and then upload advertising to those sites. Stream off. Advertising to those sites. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Noba. Can you explain that a bit more? But moderation, no, it's the difficulty with YouTube not using AI is that there's so much content uploaded every day. They have to compromise somewhere. And the best use of manpower now is for content that needs to be manually reviewed. And I even doubt that much of that manual review is actually reviewed very well. Because I've had content that I had to dispute, and they're like, no, even though it's clearly like within my rights to do so. Stream on Odyssey and not YouTube. Then upload the stream to YouTube, telling people how to catch your streams. That is a way to do it. That definitely is. I just have to say, like, I have to advertise more, like, hey, check out my Odyssey stuff. I need to figure out a way of making exclusive content that is only on Odyssey, so that people have to go over there. I have yet to think of anything. I have actually in the past thought, oh, I want to do reviews of dojins or whatever, but I don't know if I know how to do that. There's things I want to do definitely that are more exclusive to those sites, because obviously there's not much I can do on YouTube, right? There's less things I can do on YouTube versus on Odyssey or Rumble because of their less restrictions on things. So I should think about that as well for the future. But for now, I can definitely be okay with, hey, look, I'm gonna stream on YouTube. It's where the views are at, right? I have to take that advantage for now. I totally agree. So the moderation wouldn't be a problem if the manual review worked. Yeah, if only the manual review worked. But again, the problem is just the mass amount of things that get uploaded every day. It's difficult to do. Like, there's so much content being uploaded every day that even with like as many humans that they can hire, they can't do it. They're not even profitable enough to even try to hire that many people. Thinking about that, right? Like, they only relatively recently, YouTube became profitable for Alphabet, the company that owns Google and YouTube. So yeah, I don't know what much to do. Actually, does remind me of like people talking about the new CEO of YouTube. I can't remember his name. A lot of people celebrated Susan Wojcicki retiring as the CEO of YouTube, and then becoming more of a background role until she goes away. Because you're like, oh, she's the one that instigated all these bad changes that we don't like. The problem is the new CEO, NFT. Yeah, he is NFT. That's another flag, right? He's an NFT bro for sure. He wanted to integrate something into YouTube, but it didn't go through. He was the senior. He was the product manager, I believe, of YouTube, and he was the one that implemented all these changes that we don't like, including that dislike button removal. I can't remember the other things. But one of the ones is definitely the dislike removal, right? And I've talked about this before, where I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Yeah, I'm gonna get my hopes up. So dislike button, I've talked about this before. It's a stupid decision, right? They said, oh, it's because we want to protect creators from harassment. We don't want them to see a dislike button. And it's like, no. You're not. You actually don't care. This is a blind message, because what they really care about is protecting their corporate overlords from criticism. Because if you've seen like the movie trailers recently, the people don't like certain movies already, and they just use that dislike, and so they just protect those companies from the public image of that particular video. Because you say, oh, we're trying to protect creators like mental health. Okay, great. The dislike ratio is still displayed in the creator's studio. Good job. You've changed nothing. Like, I do like that extension. It's great. But yeah, like you're not protecting anyone. You're just protecting the big corpos that already need a better, they want a better image. But like, maybe, big idea. Learn from the people who actually buy your product. Listen to listen to your reviewers. I can't do that. I'm a big company. I know what's right for the people. Like really, right? Um, it's even more that like it helps scammers, and I'm fortunate. I've seen people lose their accounts to other YouTube like scammers, and then they post stuff, and then you don't know if the video's legit or not as much because, well, guess what? There's no dislike counter. So you don't know. All you see is the likes. All you see is the positive comments, or no comments at all because they disabled comments. Right? That's a good way of knowing a video is good or not. Right? Sometimes a video can be very controversial, and I remember an example I made when I was talking about that removal of the dislike button was that I actually had someone, and I'm very confident in my theory here. So a couple years ago, I covered the topic about a game that was supposed to be kind of like a sister to Yandere Simulator, right? And I talked negatively about it because of the drama that it was causing. Like, people who were making the game weren't, well, especially one of the main programmers isn't a great person. And I found out that one of the bad actors in that group sent dislike campaigns to people who, or at least a campaign to a person who talked badly about the game. And I wasn't surprised if that would happen to me too, because suddenly my video got a bunch of dislikes out of nowhere. That was a campaign against, and then like, well, did YouTube care about that? No, of course not. There was all of that hot air of, oh, we care about creators' mental health. Because again, you can still see the dislike ratio in the studio, right? It's hilarious that they're like, we care about people. Like, yeah, sure. Let me find that video too. Can I find it? Dislike ratio. What's it called again? Heartbreak. Oh, love letter. Yeah. I don't remember where it was. Yeah. Well, doesn't matter. It just got a huge dislike ratio compared to my other stuff. So I'm like, huh, weird. And actually, just to bring in a funny personal story, not personal, I guess my take on it. It was funny that I saw the programmer that I was talking about, right? He was big on it, and he was weird. He tried to deflect stuff by saying, "Oh, now I'm this identity. Now you can't. If you say this, you're harassing me, all that sort of thing." And then eventually they're like, "Okay, I'm closing the game, and let's just stop development of the game," which is fine. But it's funny that then the person was like, "What was it? I'm shutting down development of the game, and I'm changing this to a gaming channel." And in a way, I was like, damn, bro, was this your whole like plan all along? Would just like gain a bunch of followers through this project, fail, and then make so that you have a giant audience already that would watch your content? Which I gotta say, he was a bad presenter. So yeah, but it's a weird pivot. So I'm like, wow, what a scummy move if that's what you wanted to do. And I actually checked back on that channel like a few months later. And I think he's gone. Yeah, that's a couple years ago. Damn. The channel gone? Channel. There we go. Wow, it's gone. Wow, people still talked about it like recently though. That's weird. Let's see. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 1 year ago. 1 year ago. Wow. Even a year ago people were talking about it. Weird. Okay. Yeah. It was just funny that he tried to do the pivot and then like did nothing for months. Hilarious. I just want to see how bad the ratio is and make sure that endless sleeping on the landmine of a video. Yeah. Was to know how bad the video is. Yeah. Bad tutorial videos. Absolutely, right? I gotta say, based just random Indian dude that's very expert in that one particular field. Mwah. Love you, random Indian dudes. You're great. Better than any teacher. Well, okay. Not better than many of the teachers I've had. I'll say that. I have some really good teachers back then. Yeah, there's some really good tutorials videos out there. Which I've been wanting to do tutorial videos and stuff, but I don't know. That might shift away too much from what I do. I do have another channel that I could actually upload those things to. So think about it. I'll think about it. But yeah, it's funny that I've dipped my toe in many different stories here and there, and that was definitely one of them. Love letter. I'm glad that's gone at this point. I want to make a knife out of seaweed. I think we've seen the same videos. Badly made tutorials. That's a funny thing, actually. Speaking of like badly made tutorial videos, right? I remember someone a while ago made like an advice video on how to make better videos, right? And basically like lose the notepad typing. I know that's a classic thing though, like finding those really slowly typed out notepad videos. Get a mic. Just get a mic. Come on. Get a mic at this point, right? Doesn't have to be a great mic. Just get it close enough to your mouth. Make sure it doesn't sound bad. That's the main, and that's another thing, right? I talked about this before. When making content, audio is so important. It's so important. This could look like absolute garbage, but as long as you can hear me well and clearly, and you don't peak the audio all the time, watchable, right? Like as long as the actual visuals aren't really important and the audio is what's really there, yeah, I trust it. Like go ahead, do not trust it, but like I approve, right? I've seen guys. Do you guys remember a YouTuber called Grade A Under A? He has like really simple visuals, right? But at least his audio sounds okay, and his content is good, right? As long as you do that, you're fine. Self-defense, martial arts tutorial. Self-defense. I want to learn a martial art again, but hey, I can say that I'm working out again. Yeah. I'm still sore from yesterday. I'm doing like a modified One Punch Man challenge because I found out that regular, like just the regular squat and push up and sit ups are a bit easy. I don't want too hard. The one thing I definitely need to work on is like cardio. I don't know Kung Fu. I know Taekwondo. And that knowledge has rusted away. For sure. It has rusted away. No doubt. In my mind, that's gone. I still remember a few moves here and there. I know like the upwards block. That one's important. I don't remember front block is like. I don't remember what that is like. I know like the downward like block, let me demonstrate here, like downward block here so they can attack from the side, this side. I remember a few things here and there, and I remember one, these routines we had. Mine is still cardio. Yeah, cardio is difficult to do. I definitely want to work on that. But yeah, I remember the routines, right? Taekwondo. There's a routine that I really remembered. I forget now, because one of my instructors was like, "Hey, just remember that one song. Can't remember everything I own in the box to the left." And but because of that, I'm like, okay, I need to go to the left. And I was like, I remember that from then on. It was a hilarious moment in my life in learning martial arts. So yeah, it's fun learning martial arts. I just don't have time anymore. At least I'm trying to make time to work out. That's a good thing. Yeah. I think I've exhausted all I had to say about YouTube and all that sort of stuff, and it's just fun little stories that I've been involved here and there. Even though I'm a tiny channel still, and I gotta admit, most of my growth is because drama stuff. Whoopsies, drama YouTuber. You can't see me. My time is now. My time is now. Is that the full quote from John Cena? Yeah, it is. Ah. Yeah. Oh, my abs. I shouldn't have done that. That hurts now. But yeah, that's I think all I have to talk to about today. I don't really know what else to talk about. I've exhausted all my. Did I exhaust all my topics? Let me review. Pick me theory. Crunchyroll, right? Manga translated of images. Beginning of life. Oh, there's one other thing I want to talk about. Actually, I want to bring it up. And I've talked with my friends and some of you guys before about this topic, and it's kind of funny how. So this was a couple years ago. You remember that one VTuber? I can't remember the name of her. She was supposed to be like a succubus in training. She got this lolly model, and she got caused a whole kerfuffle because the VTuber community thinks that it's not acceptable. It's like, I speak for the VTuber community. No, shut up. Pick me situation because calling her an AI or something, humanizing stuff. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen that too. It's awful. People were trying to get a Pipkin. It's great that she's got some pretty good skin. But it's sad that they're trying to go after people she knows too. It's like, bro, you are like the evil thing that you say that you don't want to. Yeah. But anyways, the lolly VTuber, right? She made cause huge kerfuffle. And I'm on the side of like, bruh, it's your model. Do what you want, right? But what I find funnier about that is that later on she just has more of an adult model. Oh yeah, anytime I speak to the community, definitely a red flag, huge. And I do know what you're talking about, Guts. I actually talked about it a little bit earlier. I'll comment on it over here. I don't know. I think lolly means 8-year-old. Also applies to extra young looking adults. Yep. I know who you're gonna put her name. Yeah. Oh, Kyoto. But I think she just did that. I think she had a big brain plan, and that was that she wanted to do all along. Or she thought, maybe, I'm not speaking for her, but maybe that she thought, okay, the harassment's enough. I'm just gonna do a regular, more adult-looking model. It's like, bro, suck you by whatever. I don't get it. People do whatever they want with their models. Like, you don't speak for the VTuber community. Whatever you want. No, there's, if you're just a good content creator, I don't care. Plus, also, it's a fictional character. So what? Just pixels, right? Come on. People see it all the time. Just pixels. Drawings don't count as people, yet the weirdos assume from fiction reality. Yeah, right? So speaking on that Warpath 4chan's going on, I actually spoke about it like much earlier at the beginning of the stream. But let me write down something quickly before I forget something about fiction reality. Okay. Got it down. What was I going for? I completely, I think, forgot my train of thought. Lolly character, do what you want. You should be able to do what you want as a content creator. That comes back to actually the same thing with picking me. She should be able to do whatever she wanted as a creator. Criticizers be damned. Like, I don't know. It's you do what you want, right? Like, at the bottom line, like, you as a creator do what you want. That's fun. What you feel is great. And if you're a great entertainer, you're a great entertainer. Otherwise, like, whatever model you have, it doesn't matter. Again, fictional character. It's just how it is. And just don't attack your fans. That's it, right? Just don't attack the people that support you, and you'll be fine. That's fine. So the thing I wanted to talk about, fiction from reality. That's the funniest thing every single time. When people like they speak for the fictional characters, like, bro, they're not real. And what I found very true every single time, and I spoke about this before, is that the people who seem to be very, very anti-lolly, right, always seem to be projecting. Have you noticed that on Twitter? Are you terminally online as I am, and then see that where people are like, lolly bad. Oh, why lolly? You're just so horrible. Lolly bad. And you go to the profile, it's like, oh, you're a map block. It's funny because I saw this Twitter interaction a few days ago. I don't recall where. Almost as though they have something to hide. Always something to hide. Like I said, it's the male feminist mentality. And so I saw this interaction because someone I follow, right? They quote retweeted like, "Oh God, can't be real," because they're saying, "Oh wow, you lolicons are so weird. If you really wanted children, to go touching real children." I'm like, wait, is this bait? Did you say go touch real children, sir, madam, sir? Right? Like I'm okay if you like lollies because they're fictional, totally fine. But then now you're telling people who like fictional characters to touch real children. Flag. Cannot say fictional genres. Exactly. A lot of it is moral grandstanding that does nothing for them. And it takes more resources away from legitimate reports of child abuse. Like, yeah. Or CSA, I think it's called child sexual abuse. CSA. Yeah. It's creepy. Like, and I actually remember, I think it was a friend of mine who linked me like this like giant thread of like Twitter people who were like absolutely anti-lolly, and then like later a link to like, oh yeah, this person's also, by the way, pedophile. every time that male feminist mentality. It's just hilarious. So like I'm open with my preference. I like all types of anime characters, right? Got the lollies, got the mid, got the one sans, got the ara. I like them all. Give to me, you know. Remember when police wanted praise for arresting avocado thief? Avocado thief? I'm not familiar with the avocado thief. I'll look that up quickly. I saw an actual pedo post stuff from a CSEM site. CSEM? I'm not sure what CSEM is. But what the heck is the avocado thief? Avocado thief. They got clowned up for not dealing with real crime. I'm not sure what this avocado thief is. Where was this happening? But I bet that's exactly what I think it is, though, that you're describing. The fact that they have to come up with the term map speaks a lot. Oh, I hate that term so much. I really hate it. They're really trying to make it flowery and acceptable, and play themselves as the victims. Like, no, stop. Like, everything in the like LGB space, right? Those are sexualities of consenting adults. You as a map are trying to take advantage of children. Different. Oh, CSEM is a legal term of CP. Oh, okay. Like that's a fancy way to call yourself. Yeah, it is a fancy way. What I hate is that how anti-lolicons are silent for maps. It is. Again, I think that's just projection. I think it's just that they're trying to protect their own. Maybe here's a weird theory. Maybe lolicons are like an exposure of the possible like culture around like those characters, and maybe that they feel exposed because people like the fictional thing. I don't know. It's a weird. I can't completely put that into words, but like I think that they have some weird connection of like fictional character lolicons and real life people, which is scary. And actually, the main thing I wanted to talk about was like, so you know that whole lolly thing was a kerfuffle, right? Everyone, anytime a lolly thing happens, it's like, oh, it's big, it's bad, it's lolly, no, bad. But similar to how female sexual assault perpetrators who like statutorily rape children get off like scot-free sometimes, too often than I am comfortable with. It's the same thing with Shota content. It seems like no one actually cares about Shota content as much being problematic as much as lolly content. Let me bring up an article actually my friend sent me today. I think it's here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is disgusting. I spoke about this before. I don't like this unequal treatment of people. South Park cops. Yeah. The parody is there, right? The parody is there. So I'm going to switch over to this screen here. Friend of mine sent me this article, and I find it disgusting. I'm going to read this title here. Colorado woman faces no jail time for statutory rape and pregnancy by 13-year-old boy. Report. Oh, no, don't go back. What? No jail time. 30-year-old woman admitted to having sex. Wow, look, nice flowery language here, right? With 13-year-old boy and getting pregnant with his child will serve no jail time. What? What? Disgusting. Disgusting. I hate it. Producer anti-lolly are frustrated that they disliked for wanting the real thing while lolly content getting away with like drawings. Yeah, that's a good theory. That's a good theory, Guts. I actually like that. It's like they get lolicons are like, oh yeah, you're fine, and then they're like, oh, when they get to like the fictional thing, I want the real thing. Like, oh, I see. That's a good. I like that theory a lot. Meanwhile, men and boys get the book thrown at them for mere hearsay. Yeah. Absolutely. Right? It's funny because like whenever you see any thing about like children being sexually assaulted by like adult men, it's like bad. Great. Wait, what? Hold up. Did I miss something? Did I miss something? I hope I didn't miss anything. Hold on. I don't think I did. Hold on. I don't think it's... What? It's not incest, is it? If she was a man, she was a little girl. Oh, no. There's no incest in there. There's no incest in there. Thank God. Whoa. I was worried for a moment. Okay. No. Okay. But yeah. It's just so funny that like the media treats like women assaulters different. Well, they treat men differently too. So like, I've talked about this, but I will always be like, what the fuck? Wincest. The article earlier. Which article? The one that I had? I don't think I had anything about it. Let me just quickly read through it. No, nothing about that. Remember we made a big deal about lolly and child child coding, and it was really into Shota and didn't see the hypocrisy. Oh, I think I heard about that a bit. I think I've been heard about that. Yeah. It's really funny. And I want to admit something now. A while back, you guys know Brittany Venti? I respect her as a professional troll. Because she made a thing about lollies being pedos. I fell for the bait. I admit I fell for the bait. She seems cool, to be honest. So, like, yeah. No. The where's the 35-year-old lady? You mean the one I showed article, right? She's 31 though. Iron Mouse. What is Venti saying about Iron Mouse? I'm curious now. This is a rabbit hole. Noba? What? No. They're together. I wouldn't be surprised though. Think Before You Sleep is dating Brittany Venti. I'm not surprised if that's real. I find his content interesting too. She claimed Iron Mouse is luring grown men. See, that's where I'm a bit confused of what side of Venti is trolling, what is real anymore. Either she's really good or not. Iron Mouse is not lolly for sure. What I can say, for sure, is Nyanners definitely lolly bait. Right? I know, yeah, her newer stuff that she's not as lolly bait, but no, she's definitely lolly bait. She's booba and talks like a book or adult. Yeah, whenever the situation calls. Yeah. Iron Mouse is not afraid to be vulgar. So like, I don't know where like the whole like lolly bait thing from her is going. I know for sure with Nyanners, like she's obviously lolly bait. You can't tell me otherwise. Exactly right. She is the original, right? You can't tell me otherwise. But yeah, I can not see Iron Mouse ever being like lolly bait. No way. Like nah. But yeah, this might be more of her trolling, Venti's trolling though, from what I see, because again, it's very obvious if you actually look at it. Like no, like Iron Mouse is not lolly bait. She's going for it because it's so easy to prove or disprove on the surface. That's probably why she's going for it. I can see that. So that's why can respect her as a troll. But this is where I'm confused about where her actual like ideas lie, because I haven't looked at much at Venti, to be honest. I haven't looked much at her. But I do know that her whole thing against Lolly is a troll. And I believe this Iron Mouse thing is. I remember even during that time I talked about Venti and her like Lolly, anti thing. See ya, Pan. Thank you again for your time. And where's I going? Oh yeah, there was a tweet that she made. Like she found like a cup of piss. It's like, should I drink it? It's like, yeah, well, that's a troll for sure. I was talking about the Shoujo Girls. It was Mel's anniversary like a month ago. So, it's been yeah, man, it's been another year. I forget that you've been around this long with me. But yeah, it's funny to think that like I get a little bit of a boost of subscribers from Mel. Kind of sad I couldn't grow, I guess, with her, but anyway, it's okay. I don't mind. Like I'm okay with where I am with my YouTube channel. I'm not like hurting for like, I gotta grow bigger. So I'm pretty content right now. I would love to do more content, absolutely. And this is kind of why I want to do this. Hopefully weekly. I want to see about doing this kind of chat weekly. But yeah, I might do some research on Brittany Venti and report back to you guys next week, actually, because I'm curious. Where is she? Because she's been around a while. I know she participated even in like the what's his name again? Actor, Transformers, Shia LaBeouf's whole like he will not divide us stuff. She was there for that too. She was trolling too. So she's quite a figure that's been around. She's definitely been around. So I'm wondering more about her every day. And she was even involved with more recent stuff with that person, Eliza Blue, I think her name was. That was a funny thing to think about too, actually. But it's just another person trying to hide their identities and pivot and what to call it, grift as well. So just another day, another that. It's just always funny to see those people like finally fail at their grift. It's really funny to see that. Because I think something similar happened with like, because she was on, I think was it Timcast. I don't really watch them. I've come to dislike their content, to be honest. But then what was it, Murphy? Something Murphy. He was also like a thing that happened where he like found out their grift. And actually, just quick hot take. In a moment I'll make a hot take about Timcast. Brittany Venti says she doesn't like problematic content in anime. Jack Murphy, that's the one. Brittany Venti says she doesn't like problematic content in anime. She gets banned from the blue thing. She never learns from her mistakes. So that's the thing. That's where I'm confused more. Like, is she actually trolling, or like, what is she even? She's still banned. I don't remember. Like, I know why apparently. But problematic. Like, is she just some weird extreme, like, right winger of like all anime stuff bad? Because I can see it happening. Messing with Venti back 2020. Yeah, that's funny. Cherry the Bus, He Will Not Divide Us is the biggest capture of the flag game. Yeah, this is one of the best. I think she's all about attention. Oh, I see. Yeah, I can see it. Honestly, yeah. I mean, a lot of people online are about the attention. I mean, like, hey, look at me. I'm not, you know, innocent of not wanting attention. Here I am, right? Talking about shit. And actually want to, so hot take about Timcast IRL. Well, not really hot take, really. People have told me for a while, like, oh, he's milk toast, he's on the fence, and like, for a time I watched him, like, oh, yeah, this is okay, and then like, the more I realize, I'm like, yeah, he is a fence sitter. He doesn't like really have a stance on anything particular. He keeps, you know, repeating Civil War, U.S., Civil War. That's, you know, one of his shticks. And every so often he would have like a rage moment to make things interesting, but it doesn't stick. And one of his guests I found really obnoxious. Ian, I think, is the guy. He's the guy that always talks about DMT and all that, I think. He always keeps like going off about DMT. I'm like, okay, but this is not relevant to the conversation. Or he like goes into more philosophical things that don't actually pertain to the conversation. Federal Reserve was also, I think, his thing, right? Federal Reserve, Ian. Yeah. I got tired of their content. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to see it anymore. It's just funny that like they blew up again for hosting another like odd character like Jack Murphy. And oh, even in that like space of creators, actually, I heard that like, what's her name? Sydney Watson got in hot water for some reason. I'm not sure what that was about. I'm curious. I'll look into it, but that's something I really want to talk about. Anyways, like those kinds of topics I really don't want to talk about. They're interesting to me to look at. I'm not saying I avoid them, right? But they're interesting, but it's not something that I want to have my content revolve around, particularly. Like even like it pertains to more VTubers and that. So sure. You should listen to the guy who left Timcast. Tim has a big ego, has the smartest guy in the room, gave up on the quartering as a guest too quickly. Oh, I remember that. That was a part of a thing. Politics commentary YouTube is pretty wild below the surface. It is quite wild. I try. Depending on the thing, I watch it sometimes, but it's not something I engage with, and I don't really want to make content around. Tim, I'm not surprised Tim has a big ego. There's something about him that kind of feels right. And oh boy, have you seen was it Tim Beanie Man without his beanie? He looks like an egg. He looks like an egg. Give me Tim. Yes, no beanie. There he is. That's the image I want. No, give it to me. There we go. Bam. His head is the shape of an egg. It's an egg. Hilarious. I really watch those types of content unless it involves West Taiwan and trying to screw things up, involves entertainment media. Oh yeah, interesting that. Yeah. I sometimes watch it here and there. My I guess kind of court of it that I have a strong opinion on is like the whole stupid like race issue things. Because there was that, I think Vice, grown men and women who talk about politics never left high school. Yeah, it's true, right? It's true. They never left high school. Vice, I think, recently they've been doing a lot more of those like panel interviews or like talks, and that did involve Sydney Watson, this other lady I can't remember the name of, this redhead I can't remember the name of right now. Um, she's in that like weird that manosphere space too. Talking about like modern dating, all that sort of stuff. I've been trying to avoid a lot of that because like that just sets people in a bad mindset. So like I'm trying to stay away from that. I know that even though like that we are more online doing things these days. Jay Ram. Oh, thank you for hanging out, dude. We'll see you around. But yeah, so Vice did a lot of those panel interviews, and that one about being a woman also is hilarious to watch, although obnoxious, because there's that one lady that had that really awful fake like cackle, and like Watson, I agree with her. She's like, she said, we are tired of being silenced, and then that lady with her fake ass cackle was literally doing the thing that Watson was just talking about. Hilarious. And then they did one with like Asian people too. I watched a few highlights here and there of it, but I couldn't watch the whole thing. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. I hate it. It's so awful that people really see themselves as a victim. It's like, bro, just do good work. And like, you saying things as, oh, as an Asian person, you're othering yourself. You're separating yourself even more from the society than you need to. Oh, Noir. Nice to see ya. The Asian discrimination thing. I love talking about this. It's hilarious. Because the guy in the suit, I can't remember his name. He's based, dude. I love that he brought up like the stats of like the whole like Stop Asian Hate thing, and he said like, oh yeah, by the way, most people who perpetrated the crimes against Asian people are of a particular race that you don't like talking about, being that the Korean and Indian American were annoying. Indian American. Oh yeah, the one like the far, if you're looking at them like the far left bottom corner, he was annoying. The Korean dude, I'm not sure about. Again, I only watched clips here and there. Or was he on the right side? Something like that. At least the Chinese American doesn't buy into the whole. Yeah, based Chinese Americans. Like, that's the weird thing that even like certain Asian groups in America seem to play more victim than others. Because here's this, right? The Chinese people I know in Canada, right? Because I'm a Canadian, right? Have way less of a victim mentality than any other East Asian group that I know of. Because think about this, Canada, right? Where can the Chinese have the most victim points in Canada? The railway. But none of them talk about that shit because they don't care. They just want hard work, good results. That's all they care about. Respect. I never have a face palm more than many times than the Filipino Americans speak. Oh, Filipino Americans. It's funny because certain those groups, they try to paint them as like they are the the source of that culture. It's like, bro, you don't speak for them. You live in America. Good old guts. I'm gonna trigger you. Philippine X. For real, these discrimination things were so first world problems. Most of us here on this side just don't care. Or the canals. Yeah, really, most don't. Like, it's funny because I could do the same thing they're doing, like saying, as an Asian person, blah, 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 argument, blah, 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 blah. It's like, that doesn't qualify me for anything. Like, things are just the truth. Like, it's funny when people say, oh, my truth. Like, okay, great. But, like, that's not true. My truth. Like, I get tired when people say my truth and all that sort of thing. Or as an X group of person, like, you don't speak for them either. Like, shut up. Like, I could say the same thing. Like, as, okay, I'm going to say it now. Just to be cringe for you guys, as a descendant of a Vietnamese and Chinese person, I give you the Chinaman pass. Say all the racial slurs you want about Chinese people and Vietnamese people. Like, that works the same, right? As an Asian, I prefer not to be called an Asian, right? You don't want to be identified as the whole group all the time, right? You want to still be treated as an individual that happens to be part of that group. Because that's the funny thing is these people, as much as they try to be like, like respectful and like observant of people's cultures, they become the very racists that they say they aren't. Thunder Bay documentary on Crave. Thunder Bay. I don't know about this Thunder Bay documentary. Since it's a blanket term for those people who came from Asia, we don't like being lumped in the same group. Which is funny because Asia, it's the whole continent, right? And for the longest time, as you know, a little ignorant little boy, I thought when people said Asian, they always meant just East Asian. But Asia does encompass like the whole continent, including people from the Middle East, India, even, right? So whenever I talk about people from East Asia, I always specify East Asia because West Asia, East Asia are so different. I mean, even like in those countries in the north, really different, right? So yeah, definitely don't like that term all the time. These people try to collectivize to make things easier for them to deal with people. It is. It really is. That's how it is, honestly. They try to deal with people that way. Because I've talked about where there was a school in my country. They were going to have a graduation. And the black students came together and said, hey, we want our own separate graduation from all the other students. It's like, hold on a second. Did you think about what you said there? You've become the very thing you sought to destroy. Like, South, more keep seeing either East or South Asia. Yeah, I know. So like, it's complicated with those using languages, terms like that in speaking. But it definitely don't be colorblind, but also just don't be mean to people for having a different skin color. Easy as. Middle East is like different category. Yeah. Which reminds me, actually, funny. Speaking of like Middle East, I remember there was a podcast I watched. They were talking about like they were making fun of a journalist, where she came over to, what country was that? I can't remember. Where there was an ISIS militant group that took over a government, and they're like, so you're gonna like implement the same Western values that we did, right? It's like, no, we're gonna implement our values, our Islamic values, because we're an Islamic group. It's like, surprise, right? Imagine that. Some want Middle East to be called West Asia. Ugh, it's just complicated with those demographics. Thunder Bay is like a city in northwest Ontario, right? It's also Canada's murder capital. Yep. And has a quote-unquote systematic racism issue with its police force, which has been subject to multiple government investigations. Oh. Interesting. Okay, because Adam, I wonder if this is related. Is it similar to how the UK has a rape gang problem, where then the police also don't want to prosecute because they don't want to seem racist, because all of the perpetrators share the same race? That sounds like that situation, which is hilarious to me. Because like criminals are criminals. I don't care about what their race is. Like honestly, like sure, yes, the public would be like, a lot of these people of the group, and they'll create a stereotype. But like, you know, legitimate, good-thinking people won't think, oh yes, the whole group is bad, right? Like you don't ever group people like that. The journalists keeping from Asia will care about the first world problems. Absolutely. Right? That reminds me similarly, recently, the World Cup soccer, football? I think that's called is it FIFA? Sorry, FIFA, my bad. FIFA World Cup was hosted in the where was that? FIFA 2022. What was it? Qatar. There we go. I remember people yeah, just arrest him. I remember a guy who was like, who clearly had like a t-shirt with like pride flag on it, right? A pride rainbow on it. Was like, they didn't let me in the stadium because like, they don't like, because they're all transphobic. It's like, or they're all homophobic. It's like, bruh, you came to the country, you go to the country, you follow their sensibilities. Idiot. It's more like police see a dead native and then just go, oh, that one okay. Oh, it's that case. Oh, I get you, Lopez. Okay, I get you. Oh, this is legit systematic racism. Oh, wow. I'm usually pretty iffy on when someone uses that phrase. It's become one of those words and phrases that I mistrust most of the time. But oh gosh, that is actually pretty bad. Yeah, they're just trying to hide stuff about crimes against Native people. Ooh, Canada doing again another bad thing. Wow, imagine that. Which I actually want to rant quickly. Adam, you know about this holiday. It's a great holiday. I hate this holiday. There's a holiday here in Canada created by the federal government. It's called Day of Truth and Reconciliation. So the whole point of that day is saying, okay, government did bad things to Native Americans. We acknowledge that day. Okay, great theory. Great theory. I like it. One problem. It's a federal holiday, so federal workers get a day off. How does that help Native people more? It's like, oh, we did bad things, but day off for all of us. What? I hate that holiday. I hate that holiday. I hate that holiday. The protesters keep forgetting that the hosts do not tolerate their sexuality because they're called. Well, yeah. Imagine that. Like, a different country has different values and different culture. Woohoo! Woohoo! So wild! Woohoo! Like, I can't... it's just so funny, the ignorance that some people have. They're like, these cultures are different. We should acknowledge them. Also, when we go to their country, they should be like ours. Excuse me? Yeah. It's really funny. Yeah, I just want to say again, I hate that holiday, absolutely. It's all virtue signaling. It helps no one. Like, if that day was like the federal government, like, making an actual effort to help out Native Americans, I could respect it more. But again, it's only a holiday for federal workers. Anyone else, whatever. It's optional. It's like, that helps no one. It's just one of the worst holidays that Canada has. And I hate to call it a holiday too. It's absolutely horrible. It's just as bad as like International Women's Day and Black History Month. I don't even know how it became a thing here in Canada. Like, Canada was the country that black people came to when escaping American slavery. Like, we got a pretty good history with black people up here. I don't know. It's pretty discriminatory to have a 1 month for a particular race of people, isn't it? 'Cause I think it is. I believe there's also like an Asian History Month too, and I hate it. Again, all these like stupid holidays came from the U.S. I'm sorry, American viewers, but yeah, this is your worst export. Ew. Yeah, there's Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. I hate it. Oh God. As an Asian person, I hate this holiday. I even remember there a couple years ago, my place of work, right? They had this like corporate push to celebrate Asian History Month. It's imported. Yeah, I'm sorry. Black History Month is cringe. Just like, okay, so the Asian History Month things, right? So to celebrate Asian American and Pacific Island Heritage Month, I'll just call it Asian Heritage Month. My company decided, hey, let's celebrate by everyone sharing your favorite noodles, right? But what I didn't mention was, what kind of noodles do you share that you like, right? Company said, Share us your favorite instant noodles. What? Instant noodles. Do you know where instant noodles were invented? Oh yeah, only one country out of all the Asian countries over there. Japan. Congratulations. Also relegating all of Asian culture to instant noodles and their variety of noodles. Great job. Great job, guys. 10 out of 10 virtue signaling. Also, they try to skip International Men's Day on purpose. That's why day searches every year. Wait. It's why that day searches take over every other year on November 9th. Yeah, exactly, right? And even International Men's Day, there's a lot of women who like, I'm a single mom. I deserve to celebrate this day too. It's like, what? You already have your day. It's Women's Day. And it's actually coming up too, and I hate that day too. It's stupid. Like, we should celebrate human accomplishments, not like any particular person's like weird identifiable traits. No, celebrate the individual, the actual successes. The history months have turned into virtue signal ops, and it's heartbreaking. It's awful. It's awful. I hate it. My blood is boiling. Yeah, imagine relegating all of Asian instant noodles only. Yeah, that was hilarious when I saw them. Like, wow, you guys are great. So like anytime that day of reconciliation comes up, I'm like, I refuse to wear the shirt. I refuse to wear the shirt. Oh, good. Single moms on Father's Day. Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, that's bad. You could have asked what your favorite Asian dish. Yeah. Well, these won't be offensive, right? Ask them what your favorite dish is, or right, even better, right? Tell people, hey, go to your favorite local Asian restaurant. Take a photo of your favorite dish that way. Way better. Instant noodles? It was so stupid. It was so stupid. Yeah, like again, that would have been way better. Like, go support your local, like Asian-owned business. Like that would have been better. Like obviously still virtual signaling, but like at least do that. Asian-owned business, Asian style business, Asian food business. Support them, buy them, and buy that. Take a photo of it, post it on Instagram, whatever. Put the hashtag in. Would have been way better than show us your favorite instant noodle. Right? It's delicious. Heritage. Oh, so actually, the Black History Month thing, right? It was an interview with Morgan Freeman. And I don't remember who his interviewer was. And he asked him like, hey, so what do you think about racism in America? He's like, just stop talking about it. It's like, you give it power the more you talk about it, right? And I agree. And Morgan Freeman, don't make a month for us. Yes, don't make a month for us. Morgan Freeman was like, I don't like it. I'm like, I agree. Don't give us Black History Month. He even asked in his interview, like, hey, so you want a White History Month? And it was a weird deflection, but the interviewer's like, oh, I'm Jewish. It's like, yeah, okay. And he's like, okay, wait, but you want a Jewish History Month? Like, no. Good. I don't want a Black History Month. I'm like, yes. Yes. I love that clip. I will always love that. This self-service treatment only made me think that you're pandering to us and going, yeah, absolutely. Ooh. Speaking of my workplace, right? Speaking of my workplace. Funny stuff. So, one of our locations, right? Black History, American History. Yeah, absolutely, right? It's American history. It's history is part of history. I'll talk about it or nothing will change. Thunder Bay is again an example of that. Yeah, that's true. I get you, Adam. So one of our locations, we had a sign that says everyone is welcome, and it's like in a rainbow. And it's like, wait, are you saying that not everyone was welcome before? But also wrong, because gnome thieves are not allowed into our store. So not everyone is welcome. That's a lie. Actually, I want to speak about. So, do you guys know that there's like now multiple different pride flags, right? Because there's the like original, just rainbow flag, and each color corresponds to a particular kind of value. So let me look at pride flag meaning. each color represented something. Let me see if I can find it. See, LGBT flag, origin. There we go. So each part of the flag represents something different, right? So hot pink represents sex, red is life, orange is healing, red is yellow is sunlight, green is nature, turquoise is magic, which is a weird piece, but okay, it's spiritual stuff. Indigo means serenity, and violet means spirit, right? Great idea. So that's good, like umbrella representation of people. Suddenly, they're like, that flag is not inclusive enough. And they're like, we need to add the weird brown and black stripes. We also need to add the trans stripes. So like, are you saying that like those values that those original colors had don't represent like you? Like, are those like good values? It's so weird. So like, but it doesn't represent all of us. Like, wait, what? They can't just make more flags and color it to represent whatever alphabet soup they're in from. They keep doing it though, right? But I still feel that the original pride flag is more than enough. And yet they have this thing, oh, we need to add more. And then it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it just gets complicated. Eventually it'll just become this mess, I'm sure. We'll see what happens. But yeah, what's even funnier though is that like even the original pride flag now it's called the conservative pride flag because it's not inclusive enough. It's like, even though it's quite inclusive by not specifying particular like groups, because the brown and black stripes, if I remember, like was supposed to represent like was it queer people of color. Like, what? The yellow in that flag didn't represent like Asian people of queer Asian people. Like the red stripe didn't represent like Native Americans that are queer. Suddenly, like they had to address that. Like, it was I think it's stupid, right? Just use the original pride flag. It's already inclusive enough. It didn't need to specify particular people to be inclusive. It was inclusive by not specifying people. So, yeah, it's a funny topic to speak about. So like, call me a conservative if I prefer that flag, even though I have words to say about that group. But they end up coming off as obnoxious and annoying. Yeah, absolutely. They have a new in a coffee shop where I'm at, which has so many colors, essentially a banner now, hanging all the way across the door frame. Oh boy. I wonder what that flag is, but I don't really think I want to know. Again, because they keep adding stripes to add more meaning to it or include more people. It's like, yo, again, it's already inclusive by being so broad, and they're like, yeah, we need more. No, stop. Yeah, it's weird. So yeah, call me a conservative, but yeah, I would prefer that. But also, another hot take, actually, I can say, is in the UK, they actually have a new group of LGB. And I agree with that separation because only those 3 letters are actually sexualities. Everything else there is like identity. Also, illnesses. And it's like, that's not relevant to actual sexualities then, right? So, it's really, I do respect LGB in the UK at least for making that separation. Yeah, so they make me answer the flag. Yeah, absolutely. So that's good that they separated from that. It's better that they do. But yeah, I should actually be getting off from that. I've really enjoyed the conversation, guys. I tune in next week. I plan on doing another session of this with various other topics that I find throughout the week. And if you guys want to, send me some topics, go be my guest. You can join my Discord, link below. I might actually made a channel for that. And tweet at me as well if you want to. I'm on Twitter as well. So if you want topics for me to talk about, I'm down for that as well. So yeah, thank you guys for your time. You have a great morning, evening, wherever you guys are. And I'll see you guys next week. Just need to change the screens because I'm really bad at this.